a brand new government department, the Department of Government Efficiency. Can you believe that?
Mm.
We got this breaking news article here all about it.
Wow.
And it's, well, it's hot off the press, so you're hearing it here first.
Yeah.
They're aiming to cut through red tape, you know,
right.
and make the government actually work for the people, like really work.
That's a tall order.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Ambitious goal, for sure.
Right.
And they've chosen some interesting people to run the whole thing.
To lead the charge, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're talking Vivek Ramaswamy.
Okay.
You know, the guy who, like, turned biotech upside down.
Uh-huh.
They keep mentioning his net worth in this article.
Oh, yeah.
But I think what's way more interesting is how he actually built these successful businesses, you know.
Right.
He's all about, like, shaking things up.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, exactly what this department needs, somebody who's not afraid to just
disrupt things a little bit.
disrupt things, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of his main strategies has always been, like, you know, finding where things aren't working.
Inefficiencies.
Right, exactly. Inefficiencies.
Yeah.
And then coming up with, creative solutions.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's meant using tech to streamline processes.
Right.
You know, make things faster, more efficient.
Yeah.
So if he can do that, apply that same kind of thinking
To the government.
to the complexities of the government. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, who knows? We might actually see some real change.
That would be amazing. It would. It would.
Okay, but wait, there's more?
What?
They've brought in Elon Musk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Tesla, SpaceX, and now government efficiency.
Yeah, it's an interesting move for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Musk is known for, like, being really aggressive with timelines.
Right.
And just pushing those technological boundaries. Right?
Totally. And that kind of energy, I feel like, could really shake things up in a system that's, you know, known for being slow and kind of stuck in its ways.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It could be a real catalyst for change.
So you've got Ramaswamy, you know, with his business smarts.
Yeah.
And then Musk with his tech vision.
Powerful combo.
But, and I'm just putting this out there,
Yeah.
could this be too many cooks in the kitchen?
That's a good question.
Right.
Yeah.
Could their personalities, like, clash with, you know, how the government actually works?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how they navigate that. You know,
right.
The existing power structures and the realities of politics.
Yeah.
Like, can they actually put their ideas into action?
Right.
Or are they just going to run into, like, roadblocks everywhere?
Roadblocks. Yeah.
Because we're talking about potentially changing how things have been done for a really long time.
Yeah.
It's bound to ruffle some feathers, you know?
For sure. For sure. Speaking of disrupting things, okay,
Right.
this department, they have this crazy idea.
What?
They're talking about using Dogecoin for government transactions.
What?
Serious.
Dogecoin.
Like, imagine paying your taxes with Dogecoin.
Wow.
They're even calling it the Doge Government Efficiency Initiative.
That sounds like, I don't know, like something out of a comedy skit or something.
Oh, I know, right.
Yeah.
But apparently there's some logic behind it.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. So they want to use blockchain technology, which is what powers Dogecoin, right? To
Right.
make government finances, like, more transparent and secure.
Okay, so, like, help me understand this.
Yeah.
What would be the actual benefits of using blockchain for something like, I don't know, processing tax returns?
Yeah.
Like, paint me a picture.
Okay, so imagine, right, every transaction, like every payment, recorded on this, like, permanent public ledger that nobody can mess with.
So, like, it's all out in the open.
Yeah.
And it's secure.
Yeah, and it could potentially, like, reduce fraud, right? Speed up how long it takes to process things.
Yeah.
And make the whole system more accountable.
That sounds good in theory.
Yeah, and think about it.
Yeah.
No more waiting weeks for a paper check. Your tax refund could, like, arrive in minutes directly to your, like, you know, digital wallet.
Wow, that would be nice.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So from a user standpoint, I can see the appeal.
Yeah, definitely.
But surely there is some worries about using something like Dogecoin, which is, you know, known for being pretty volatile,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, what if its value just tanks all of a sudden?
That's a big question mark. I mean,
Yeah.
connecting government finances to a cryptocurrency that, you know, goes up and down like a roller coaster.
Yeah, like, imagine trying to budget for anything.
Yeah, it could lead to, like, chaos, right?
Total chaos.
Yeah.
And uncertainty in, like, budgeting and spending.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Plus, there's a whole bunch of regulatory hurdles they'd have to overcome. I mean,
Right.
governments everywhere are still trying to figure out how to even regulate crypto,
Yeah.
let alone use it for their own operations.
Right.
So it's a huge challenge.
It's like a high risk, high reward situation.
Totally, totally.
On the one hand, you could have more efficiency
Yeah.
and transparency,
Yeah.
but on the other hand,
Total financial meltdown.
financial chaos.
Yeah. And regulatory nightmares.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's a tough one.
So it's a lot to consider.
It is. It is.
And it's, push for government efficiency.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a new thing, right?
No, it's
Like,
no.
it reminds me of some of the stuff that was happening during the Trump administration.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
With all the deregulation, streamlining,
Mm-hmm.
cutting red tape.
Absolutely. It's definitely got some echoes of that.
And that's where things get even more
Interesting.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember Musk, he's got a history with Trump.
Right.
And RFK Jr., who was in Trump's cabinet, he's also involved with this department.
Wow.
So it's a very diverse group of people
Yeah.
with like different ideologies.
Yeah. And potentially a lot of friction there.
Yeah.
It's a very volatile mix, you could say.
Yeah, for sure. And it makes you wonder, right? Like, what's the long-term political impact going to be?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Are we seeing a shift towards like a more business-focused approach to government?
Yeah.
And if so,
Yeah.
what does that mean for, traditional politics?
Yeah.
Like how power works?
Totally.
It's a really interesting question.
It's like they're trying to create this like Manhattan Project
Oh, interesting.
for government efficiency, right?
Yeah, I like that analogy.
Yeah, you bring in all these really smart people,
Right.
but some of them are, controversial,
For sure.
and you give them this like massive challenge to solve,
Yeah, and just like the Manhattan Project,
right?
the stakes are, they're incredibly high.
Oh, yeah.
Like if they succeed,
Yeah.
it could completely change how the government works.
Right.
For the better, hopefully.
Yeah, make it more efficient, effective.
Right, for everybody.
Yeah, for everybody, right?
But if they fail,
Ooh, yeah.
well, the consequences could be pretty significant.
Pretty significant. Yeah, we don't even know.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
So just to recap here, we've got this brand new department
Yeah.
led by like some of the biggest names in business and tech.
Mm-hmm.
They might be using Dogecoin to completely revolutionize government finance.
Right.
And this is all happening against like a really complicated political backdrop.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack.
That's a lot to unpack. Where do we even start?
Well, one thing's for sure, this is a story that's just getting started.
Oh, yeah.
And it has the potential to affect all of us in big ways.
And what's so interesting is that public opinion on this is like all over the place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some people are like really excited about the possibility of a more modern and efficient government.
Okay.
But then others are super worried about, less oversight and the influence of like really wealthy individuals.
Yeah, I can see both sides.
Right.
It's a really complex issue.
It is. And there are no easy answers.
Yeah, and it's all happening right now, like right in front of us.
Okay, so we've laid out the basics here.
We have.
But what does it all mean?
Yeah.
Like what could actually happen?
Right.
And more importantly, what does it mean for you, the listener?
That's the key question, isn't it?
It is.
So, like, where do you think this could have the biggest impact?
Ooh, good question. And what are some of the potential problems we should be watching out for?
Well, that's what we're going to dig into next.
I can't wait.
Let's do it. Okay, so should we just dive right into the whole Dogecoin thing?
Yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or maybe the Doge in the room.
Right. I mean, using cryptocurrency for, like, actual government transactions.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a bold move.
Yeah.
And it could have, like, huge consequences,
Yeah, it's definitely got people talking.
For sure.
I mean, on the surface, right, it seems kind of risky
Yeah.
using something as volatile as Dogecoin to manage public funds.
Yeah. I mean, imagine trying to, like, put together a budget
Right.
when the value of your currency could just, like, plummet
Yeah.
based on, I don't know, a tweet or something.
Yeah, or a meme.
Yeah, exactly. It's like financial roulette.
It is.
But, the people who are really into this Doge government efficiency thing, they say that the technology behind it, the blockchain,
Yeah.
has some serious benefits.
Okay.
Like, imagine a world where you could pay your taxes
Uh-huh.
instantly, securely,
Yeah.
just a couple of clicks.
That part does sound kind of appealing.
Yeah, right.
No more like waiting for checks to clear or
Yep.
dealing with all that bureaucracy.
That's exactly.
But isn't there a risk of like hacking
Oh, for sure, yeah.
or fraud?
Yeah.
Because like cryptocurrency exchanges, they've been targeted before.
Yeah, absolutely.
So could the government really protect itself from that?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And it's a valid concern. I mean, the blockchain itself, that's considered very secure.
Okay.
But the platforms and systems that people use to like access it and manage it,
Yeah, right.
those can be vulnerable.
So there are weak points.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So to really make sure government money is safe in a crypto system, you'd need like a massive investment in cybersecurity.
Right. So it's a trade-off then.
Yeah, I think so.
Like potentially things could be faster and more efficient.
Right.
But then you've got these added security risks.
Yeah.
And, the whole uncertainty of the market.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's a lot to think about.
A lot to weigh.
And we also have to remember that this technology, it's still developing.
Oh, yeah. It's constantly changing.
Yeah.
I mean, governments around the world are still trying to figure out how to, regulate it and how to like bring it into their own systems.
Right.
So this Doge initiative, if it actually happens, that would be a huge like jump into the unknown.
It's like a real-time experiment.
Exactly.
With like the whole world watching.
Yeah, and all the potential benefits and all the potential risks, playing out on a global scale.
And, all of this isn't happening in isolation. Right. We've got this push for government efficiency, the focus on technology, people like Musk and Ramaswamy involved.
Yeah, it all points to something bigger.
Right, it's like a shift.
Yeah, like a shift in how we even think about what the government should be doing.
In the 21st century.
Exactly.
You mentioned earlier, some people are worried about conflicts of interest.
Yeah, that's a real concern.
With Musk and Ramaswamy leading this thing.
Right. I mean,
could their businesses benefit from decisions that this department makes?
Well, that's something we need to watch closely.
Yeah.
Transparency is going to be key here.
Right.
Like, if they're making decisions behind closed doors, that's a problem.
Yeah.
For example, what if this department puts policies in place that, like, directly benefit Tesla?
Oh, right.
Or one of Ramaswamy's companies.
Yeah.
Then you have to ask, like, are they really doing what's best for the public?
Yeah. Are they just looking out for themselves?
Exactly. Are they just trying to enrich themselves?
Well, right.
So that's a legitimate concern.
It's like that saying, he who pays the piper calls the tune.
Right. Right.
So if it's just a few people making all the decisions, is it really a government that's working for everyone?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is.
So how do we make sure that all this focus on efficiency doesn't mean that we, like, throw ethics out the window?
Right, and accountability.
Yeah, exactly. We can't lose sight of those things.
It seems like we're all part of this experiment.
Yeah, whether we like it or not, it's like our whole understanding of government is being challenged right now.
Like reshaped.
Exactly, in real time. This is a pretty big moment in history, I think.
It is. It's almost overwhelming how much is changing.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought we'd be talking about Dogecoin?
Right.
And the future of government.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
It just shows you how fast things are moving.
So where do we go from here?
That's the big question, right? I mean, how do we make sense of all of this?
All these complex issues.
Yeah.
That are all kind of intertwined.
Well, that's what we're going to explore in the next part.
All right. I'm ready.
We'll look at some possible scenarios.
Okay.
And we'll talk about what you can do to stay informed and, be a part of this whole conversation.
Awesome. Let's do it. So it feels like we're at this, like, fork in the road, Yeah. One path leads to a more efficient government, driven by technology.
Right, right.
But the other path, there's all these concerns about control and transparency.
Yeah. And who's really benefiting from all of this?
Exactly.
And it's not just theoretical,
Right.
These changes, they have real impacts on people's lives.
That's true.
So will this new department actually make things better for everyday Americans?
That's the big question, right?
It is.
Like, we can talk about blockchain and restructuring all day long.
Yeah.
But what does it actually mean for someone who's, like, trying to renew their passport?
Right, or get their healthcare benefits.
Exactly.
Yeah, those are the things that matter.
So how do we know if it's working?
Yeah, what should we be looking for?
Yeah, what are the signs that things are going in the right direction?
Well, one thing to watch out for is, like, a lack of transparency. If decisions are being made behind closed doors without any public input.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's a big red flag.
It's like that saying, he who pays the piper calls the tune.
Exactly.
So if it's just a small group of people calling all the shots, are we really getting a government that represents everyone?
That's a good point. Another thing to be wary of is if this focus on efficiency leads to cuts in important services.
Right.
Like, we don't want streamlining to hurt the people who need help the most.
Yeah, so it's not just about speed efficiency.
Right.
It's about making sure everyone benefits.
Exactly. And that's where, we all have a role to play.
Yeah, you can't just sit back and watch.
We need to pay attention, ask questions, and hold our elected officials accountable.
Right, make sure they're actually serving the public good.
Not just the interests of the wealthy and powerful.
It's like this isn't just a story we're observing.
Yeah.
It's a story we're all part of.
That's a great way to put it.
We're all shaping the outcome.
We are, and this deep dive, hopefully it's given you some things to think about.
Yeah.
Some context to understand what's happening.
And to form your own opinions.
Exactly.
Who knows, maybe someday we'll look back at this and be like, wow, that's when everything changed.
Yeah.
When the government finally embraced technology and became more efficient.
Right, more effective, more accountable.
But maybe it'll be a cautionary tale, right?
That's possible, too.
About the dangers of, too much power in the hands of a few.
And the importance of protecting our democracy.
Especially with technology changing so rapidly.
Only time will tell, but it's definitely a story worth following.
It is, because it affects all of us.
It does.
So stay curious, stay informed.
Keep asking those tough questions.
That's how we make sure the future is one where the government works for everyone.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure, Tabo.